Okay. How's everyone doing? For once, we've got transcoding and the internet working for now. Maybe I should... Don't really have a good rig cam, to be honest. Can maybe sort of point it out. So our setup for today is a little bit complicated. Or maybe even a lot complicated. I'm just gonna adjust this camera. Not that that made much of a difference, but anyway, so we've got our Impact 7 board, so the Z97 board. We've got a couple of sticks of, I can't take the pot off at the moment, but I've got blue tack on the board. You can't see any of these things. This is like a podcast at the moment, but I think you'll get the idea. Blue tack on the board. Then Bear, Trident, 2600 bin RAM, 2 sticks that I bought from Robbo, who's an kind of like an old timer. Well, I don't want to call him old, but a retired overclocker from Australia, with the Bardex copper spreaders, an EK pot on top. No spare change in the pot today because actually I haven't really run 2 dim slot. Hi JC, how are you doing? I haven't really run cold RAM on a board with only 2 dim slots before, as far as I can remember. So now I'm trying to do that with the Bardex spreaders, and pretty late in the game I noticed that the top of both these spreaders is not even, so the outside stick basically was getting better contact. So, and the other issue is that with the T-Rex on here, which probably is not a good idea, but I'll just go with it anyway. With the T-Rex on here, there isn't much space between the CPU and the inside slot, so I basically end up with the pod kind of too far on the outside anyway. So those are the 2 reasons why I decided to actually screw down on the inside stick only. Hi 00. So I've screwed down on the inside stick only in order to sort of level it out, because the pod would have been like this, tilted toward the outside. Obviously I'm exaggerating, but there would not have been good contact on the inside stick. So no spare change to weigh it down. Just screw down on the inside stick, and that seems to have given me reasonable contact. So inside, well, inside the socket, we've got our, this should all be on the under the rig command as well. We've got our 4690K, so Devil's Canyon. It's quite a good chip. You can look up my results. I've done 1 cold session on it, which was direct die on the OC formula. I've got the OC formula here, but it was having issues posting dual channel for some reason. So I've given it a clean and just put it aside. So now I'm on the Impact. So any core overclocking that I do today will maybe not be as great as it was last session, which is first of all is a long time ago, and secondly was direct die. I've got KPX on there, but I'm sort of taking it as a given that the mount is not going to be great on the chip. So if it did 5.7 last time, it might only do like 5.5, 5.6 this time around. But the main focus is the RAM OC. So we've got our SAMI sticks in here in a good RAM overclocking board. I've done my best to insulate it. Usually when you're running cold RAM, it's a little bit easier to do than on this board. On this board, the spacing everywhere, you know, the power connectors are really close to the RAM is really close to the socket, both the socket and the RAM is really close to the VRM. You've got your SATA down here that might get wet. It's going to be complicated. I can't promise anything. Yeah, so that's the rig. Let's boot it up. The other issue actually is I don't really expect to continue to have access to the power button and stuff. So I've run a separate set of power buttons here. Yeah, would be helpful to have a PSU switched on. Yeah, and I've got my socket heater attached, and I've got 3 probes, so 1 for each stick, and Corsair DOMs. Stream came at the perfect time. Well, are you what's going on here? So I've turned on the socket heater, turned on the fan at the top here, got my temp monitoring. So this might be a bit grungy here, but I think you should be able to see it. So let's see. Check for display out. Always important. I'd have to restart my capture card actually. That was not a good way to do it. Oh, here we go. Didn't have to restart. Okay, so I'll point this out hopefully only once. CPU temperature, BCLK and multiplier, but I don't know how interested you'll be in that. Left stick, right stick. So actually at the moment they're showing the same temperature. I really need to try and buff out this scratch on the screen. It's really annoying because, but believe me when I say it's 26.3, 26.3. Right. I think I'll just double check that my heater's on. So I've got a Windows 7 Geekbench OS on there at the moment. This is where it already gets interesting because what BCLK strap do I want to run? Man, it feels like such a long time since I did a stream. Do these things do 50-50? Let's go. Let's throw a little bit of cold on there. I'll redo sort of the insulation on the RAM once I actually take the RAM cold. Try and keep my torch at the ready. That doesn't even show up on the screen. What a disappointment. So showing 36 plus, let's go. Actually, what we really want is we want a temperature cam here as well. Oops. I have, there we go, that's nice. Isn't that great? Believe it or not, I've been spending like 5 hours preparing the stream already and it's still not really ready. All right, let's go to like -20. That seems like a really rough probe. But what I should mention as well is I have only 2 of these really nice flexible green and white EK probes, and I've decided to put them on the DIMMs. So my DIMM setup should be really nice. I think that both the quality of the probes, the probe placement, the paste job, the spreaders, and the mount, all of that should be quite good. So those temperature readings should be useful, like should be like proper. But then I put a really crappy K-type, it's like a blue K-type on the CPU. So since I ran direct dial last time, the the temperatures will be different anyway. So I don't really care if I have to readjust my cold bug temperatures, like what I pour to and stuff on the CPU. What I really need is more EK probes. Audio kind of weird. Let me see if I can do anything. I don't know, maybe seems fine. Okay. Your headset is dying. So minus 28. Okay, I had it on the wrong reading. It's good to find out now rather than later. Okay, so minus 28, so we should be able to do 50-50 multipliers. Start to go up to SAMI timings. Nine, 12, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. At 2000 with whatever 2.1 volts. Core 1.35 should do it. Would help if I was on the bias screen, wouldn't it? The hell? Okay, let's see if this posts. Just use your speakers, man. Yeah, so this will probably be a pretty slow stream. I originally wanted to bench some socket 478 on cold for Team Cup, but that board wasn't cooperating. So with a little bit of luck, you may even be able to see the post code here in the center. That's the good thing about ITX boards is there's so much space on the bench table below the board that I can just put all my probes there. Okay, what I also need to turn off is the F1 error bullshit. I need to turn off the CPU fan speed, and then probably later on there will be also over voltage, so I'm just going to ignore those as well. Yeah, I think that's a pretty okay baseline. Let's go 2600. Weird. What quality setting are you on? Do you have internet issues or something? Because you can go like 40p or something and see what happens. Alright, so that posted 5 and 5 at 3600. Let's go like whatever, 2.2, who cares? These are not Magic 6. I'm basically only running them because they're bare PCB, so I can run them on LN2. B2, 99, B4, looking good. And I might actually quickly do a baseline run and then check versus the newer version of Geekbench. Well, first of all, to see if it passes, which cold IMC, I don't expect any issues. So there we go, 2800 RAM. If it goes well, I might try Cinebench again, but that's really rough. That's a really hard bench on this platform, because you've got to use like the slow mode switch and stuff. Otherwise you hit cold bug as load is coming off of your CPU. By the way, 00, I realize I am going up against Gamers Nexus, but I had no way of knowing that was happening. Just, you know, just get a second screen out or whatever. Minus 32 on the CPU. Sticks at ambient or oof. Actually kind of wonder if that was core or memory. Hey Keep, how are you doing? Yeah, Gamers Nexus is just, it's a bit triggering sometimes, isn't it? Sticks are quite hot. Maybe I need to this board is known to be bad on cold. Unity greater than Gamers Nexus. I appreciate it. Thanks. This board is known to be a pain cold, so I'm sort of hesitant to pull fully. Like, you know, CPU with heater is like, that's like running something ambient almost. You know, it's so easy. Cold on both, that can get messy fast. So I sort of don't want to do that yet. Let's give it another hit. Could be the cache too, to be honest. If I have the cache voltage at stock. Oof, oh, Dijkstra. Okay. For the purposes of this comparison between the two versions of Geekbench, I think I'll just go down to 2666 and go back down to like 2.1 or something. Layout, oh, as in like cable management and stuff. Need to copy over a new CPU Z as well. Radiators and tubing. Man, I don't run custom water for daily. No way. Barely even run like running air for daily, if that makes any sense. I just wish there was, you know what, like coming from PCs in the 90s, you know, I sort of wish, I sort of would have expected that by now we would have fully passively cooled desktops that have good performance. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird how cooling requirements have kind of stayed the same no matter what. All right, so yeah, I'm starting to think it's the cache. Let's go 50-45. As long as we just have a, or even 48. Let's go 48. I mean, the sticks are hot, but they're not that hot. Yeah, struggling with allergies over here. Come on, Windows. Okay, let's make sure it replied. Alright, I couldn't help myself. I gave the sticks a little hit. Probably going to go down to like plus 20, so no big deal. What a slow run, man. Okay, so I should probably even just take a screening of that. First of all, I need a screening utility. Oh, there we go. So that's 3.4.2. And just need the new CPU Z. Good thing about reinstalling this stuff is that it keeps your registration information. The hell? Alright, that's better. So we had a 16.8 with a 5.5 memory score. Let's just rerun while I give the CPU a bit more hit, a bit more LN2. Hey, Cold Wove. Got a bit of an Australian party going on here with Keep representing the US. It's no surprise really, this timing is just too late for Europe. Alright for the US and best for Australia. Ooh, 16.8. Actually, it's pretty much the same score. Okay, that's within a margin of error. All right. Let me insulate my RAM. Nah, that went too far. We need to be able to automate pushing the delete button. Hey, Keep, what was the magic trick again to stop the fluke from turning off? Alright. While you excitedly watch the temperatures drop slowly, I get some more LN2. Okay, we are in the minus zone with our RAM. Probably the first sort of realistic thing to do would be to check for cold boot bug, or well, cold bug. Could put camera on it, so you can see buttons. So there's light, on, min max, CFK, hold, setup, up, down, enter. So kind of as expected, the outside stick is showing warmer than the inside stick. Set up, then down. SLP, is it SLP? I think it might be SLP. Off. Let's see if it's that. I think that's what you told me last time. Alright, so we're at minus 30 or thereabouts. Down from SLP? Yes, okay, I turned it off. Let's see what happens. Okay, so minus 30, let's go. Well, first of all, let's go to 2800. And now that we don't have any heat concerns anymore, 2.3 volts. I mean, most sticks do this on ambient. It's just sort of like a heat check. Anyone on here actually have any Devil's Canyon experience? Okay. Weird. — 2013. So I wonder if, so what I kind of wanted to try as well as Win 10. But I think that's for the Lake architectures and for Ryzen. Every newer version of Win 10 has gotten faster in Geekbench 3, and every newer version of Geekbench 3 has gotten faster as well on top of that. So I have an OS here. I don't know if I'm going to get to it though. With Explorer opened over it. Weird. Lower memory score. I don't know. It's all good as long as it passes. We can work everything else out later. Well, time for 2933. Hey, Bullant. Here's the guy we need for Devil's Canyon. Tell us all, Bullant. Tell us everything you know about Devil's Canyon. We're in desperate need here. So trying to sort of maintain minus 30, obviously it's not possible, you know, exactly, just because of the delta between the sticks, the slow pot and stuff. I suppose I could torch up the pot, but that doesn't make that much sense, given how close it is to the CPU pot and the paper, flammable paper next to it. So this isn't 2933. Again, not really looking at the score, just looking for passes. Doing just fine. Thanks. I can use some encouragement. So Bullant, the idea today is I'm actually, so maybe just to reiterate, we've got our CPU temps here, left stick, right stick. So I have my more accurate probes on the sticks. So the focus today is on the sticks. It's SAMI. So I'm trying to see we're actually at minus 40. That's interesting. I'm trying to see what's the best temperature to run them at cold. How far can they go cold? And then if later on in the session I can run a full out run with CPU and cache clocked as well, that's fine. But I know the chip is good. I've run the chip before. It's done like, I don't know, 6.2 GPU pies or some crap like that. That's not really what I'm trying to investigate today. I'm trying to look at the sticks. And the last time I ran the CPU, it was on a different board and direct die. So actually the expectation is if I run all out on the chip today, it very likely will clock worse. CL10, I think it's CL10. It's the 2600 Trident bin. I can show you the SPD in BIOS in a minute, once this crashes. So now we do BCLK. Because, I mean, you may already know this, but every strap above 2933 is broken on Haswell and Devil's Canyon. Let's see if we can go for 4,000 or 3,000 rather. So this is 2980. Okay, fair enough. Hopefully we don't need a hard reset. That looks like it's gonna post. I need a bigger desk, seriously. It's just so cramped with especially with flasks and stuff. A0, that's looking good. Okay, so obviously now the next oh, I wanted to show you the SPD, so let's quickly go there. So it's this bin 2600 C10 1212. Yeah, there you go. So what's the next step? What we actually want to do is we want to try and just post higher, see how high we can post. Okay, 101 BCLK seems to be working. Let's try 102.3 because it's exactly 3000. Probably not going to work. Yeah, it's looking like a post. Whether it's actually going to boot is a different matter. Getting a little, possibly getting a little bit too cold on the sticks actually. Minus 45. I don't really want to go lower than that. Yeah, so there we've got 3000. Bullan, what do you usually run for SA, IO, and all that stuff? I have it on auto at the moment, actually. Okay, let's see if it passes. My Twitch seems to be screwed, actually, showing me some weird stuff. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, that was really weird. Viewer count was frozen at 3, even though I could see more than 3 people even talking, so it doesn't make any sense. Well, our run is still going. Minus 40 on the sticks. Maybe go a little bit lower. Past Jikestar, that's always a good sign. Alright, I'll say that just because passing any bench at 3000 is always fun on DDR. DDR3, I mean. Yeah, higher in terms of frequency, but do you mean higher in terms of like SA and stuff like that as well? That's where I'm not sure at all. All right, well, let's just give that a run. Seems like a good kit actually. Just as I say that, I get a blue screen, but okay. Probably don't want to go that high on frequency anyway. Wonder if it'll tighten actually. That's an interesting idea. Like 9-11-11. Is that something that might happen? Haven't run this stuff cold before, so there's no way of knowing really. No, it's throwing 03. 03 is usually memory. But let's give it a few iterations. No, 03. So that was only the slightest of change in terms of tightness. So I think the way to go would be to max out the memory, the frequency first. There's very little data out there on Cold Sammy J. Very little data. That's part of the reason why I'm running it. Yeah, okay, let's I think the way to go would be to actually just not even deviate from the inbuilt profile that I loaded, the tightest SAMI profile that's built into the board, and just see with temperature and voltage what the sticks will do. So we were at this. $2,000. That makes no sense. Hold on. This board shows effective, doesn't it? So, okay. So I hadn't actually saved a profile. So we're at like 101.3, or a little bit more. We're at 3,000 flat. Okay, so we're at this. I'm gonna save this as a profile. Let's see if the VDIM is correct. No, we went up to 2.3. Okay, so this is our sort of baseline. Now what I'm going to do is, at the same temperature, go a little bit higher on the voltage and see if we can post like this, whatever this is. As long as we like, a little bit of boot looping is totally fine on this board, as long as we don't see 03. I've never seen it actually recover from 03 as a postcode. Fan error crap is... Come on, bias. You can do it. Or maybe can't. Wish I could affect the balance of the pod a little bit. Okay, let's reboot. I'm not trying to run 32M here anyway, so there you probably do better on PSC. Yeah, fan error crap. Yeah, I think it's on the edge. Let's go back down actually. I remember someone telling me that Sammys on cold don't really scale that much with voltage. Mm. Yeah, it's a bit too much. Let's stick with 3000 and maybe check for cold bug on the sticks. That would be interesting to know. Dallas P, thank you for the sub. Doesn't seem to be saving my profiles, which is a bit of a concern. So 2.3, 101 point, was it 5? 6, 101.6, 7 even. Okay, 102.3. Save the profile. Disable the crappy monitoring stuff. I wonder what's the most correct way to check for cold bug on sticks. Is it sitting in BIOS or sitting in OS? I think sitting in OS can be nice because you can wiggle the mouse around. No, that was a bit of an overpour. You're watching because of a friend. Well, that person is a good friend. Thank them. Let's give the CPU a bit as well. Random hang. Maybe the IMC was too warm. I'll go from -30 to -50 on the CPU. Weird. Maybe my sticks are too cold. I'm at -55. Yeah, but the thing with testing stability... Oh. Was I setting this cache all along? Don't want that. Thing with running a bench while looking for cold bug is that you're putting a heat load on the component you're trying to check the temperature of. So that's kind of contradicting. So inside stick at -56. Yeah, that was cache actually. So still happy at -55. But I could do both. I mean, nah, the only thing is you increase the delta between the stick and the pot. But then again, my probes are on the stick. So okay, let's do a run and pour down while we're running. So here's our 3000. That's a crash, but that doesn't mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be temperature related. So now we're minus 60 on the inside stick. Okay, about minus 67. That sounds about right. Yeah, I know. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best temp to run at. I would actually guess that best temp to run at would be something like minus 40, but I'm just checking for cold bug. But I'm very tempted to actually loosen the screws a bit because the outside stick really isn't looking great, and since I'm waiting for it to warm up again anyway, I may as well do that. Starting to think I might need diagonal mounting of the screws actually. It's hard to know though, maybe the probes are just screwed. I don't know if that made it better or worse. I'd expect it to come back around here, minus 60. maybe I need to do. I do need to whip out my coins. Where are they? Oh, it's back. I'll try and weigh it down a bit with coins. Most important accessory for any cold memory benching. Oops. It keeps on wiping my profiles. It's really weird. Let's save it to a different profile. Let's just call the profile whatever. Disable this actually. So it was 102.3. Should give us 3000 at the top. It does. Disable this crap again for the 100th time. And save to a new profile. No, it's just for weight. I don't know what's heaviest per volume. I'm guessing copper is heavier than, I suppose you could get lead coins. They might not be good for your health. Just any coins, anything that's sort of dense, that feels dense in your hand. Yeah, need to give the IMC a little bit of love. Oh, it's that cache crap again. Because I load from a profile that has 50 cache applied. Shouldn't be multitasking. Yeah, I think this is a good spot to be. Need a bit more on the IMC, but sort of mid 40s for the RAM. I remember that being good. Let's try that again. Yeah, minus 20 for the IMC was a little bit too warm from what I'm guessing. Could be wrong, but just on the reboot with a little bit colder IMC, that seemed much happier. Next, I might stay at these memory settings and okay. Not quite sure what's going on there. Let's go a little bit colder on the memory. Instead of mid 40s, go like end 40s. Hopefully that wasn't the one miracle pass at 3000. I still have options. I can still mess around with temperature a bit more. DRAM voltage, DRAM termination. Let's give it 2.4. Is everyone else benching? Need a bit of ventilation actually. You still messing with servers, Cold Wove? Memory management on DG, what is it called? What's that subtest called? DG something EMM? Yeah, DG EMM, yeah. Seems a bit weird anyway. Oh, okay, so 2.4 worked. Interesting. Sweet. Okay, so let's check if our slow mode is working on the. Yeah, okay, so we have working slow mode. Let's pull down the CPU a little bit. And I'm out again. Should probably be attempting to glaze my pot. Epic Naples, nice. Some 775 250k. Not a good platform to start off on. Holy shit, Sandy is so hard to run on LN2. But good luck with it. Still too full. And this torch thing is empty. Not having much luck, am I? Into the bin it goes. Always good to have spares around. So minus 90 on the CPU, that's actually a good spot to be. What's an MSE? Oh, M5 Extreme, okay. That's better. All right, we've got a glaze on there. Let's go 1. I don't know what's reasonable. 1.5 maybe, and 55. Yeah, let's just give that a run. What's the worst that can happen? It just flat out hangs on the first bench. Okay, that's the worst that can happen. All right. Probably need a bit more than at minus 80. 1.65 V core. I'm just trying to be reasonable about things. Okay. So it did want more V core. Have to be careful with the pour now. We're at minus 94. So I'm just gonna let it run. Maybe give the dims a little bit more. Yeah. Dijkstra. Let's give the dims a little bit more. I actually have too many coins in there. Need a bit of space for the actual LN2 itself. Let's rerun. What's the first place in this ranking anyway? All right. $1.7 is applied. I'll go to minus 100. Alright, that was worse for some reason. Might be too cold to boot now, actually. TCP/IP. Those look like decent temps, but do I let this run? Probably should. 3000 G for cheap ass, nice. RTX 2060. Yeah, COVID did reshuffle everything. Cold Wove. Well, if disk check runs, then memory must be pretty stable. Alright, let's back off the RAM a little bit. Yeah, not sure. Not sure what's going on with the Windows issues. Could also be too cold, but minus 100 is not that cold. Let's do a clear CMOS and see if it'll boot. $100 C colder than your PC. Indeed, at least $100 C. Take a little bit of time to cold cycle. 4690K. I'm curious. So I think Massman is first, or Gamer. Gamer is first with a 19.96. Actually, what I can also try is load from the profile and go just flat 2933. Oh, now it's trying to boot from the USB. Going one step lower, after that I'm re-imaging the OS. Okay. Well, that's certainly interesting. Let's do a sort of like a core only run to see. And I'll hold it at a minus 100. Or thereabouts. Every single run basically on some benchmarks like BCLK is crazy. You basically, at times with BCLK, I've had 2 drives on the go with identical OSs just so I can plug in the backup drive while I'm waiting for the first one to be re-imaged. That's how much it corrupts. Okay, this is not a bad run actually. Let's save it. Doesn't want to go over 56 multi for some reason. Is it a CPU Z bug? Weird. So OC panel is showing 58. Okay, now we've got 57. Rerun. Back to our temperature display. Let's aim for a little bit colder, minus 105 or better. Just gonna get some LN. So that was 18.9 now. And why are we trying to hit 19.9? Okay. I mean, the absolute best part, like the best tip anyone can give you about benching is get one of these USB to SATA adapters so you can keep on re-imaging stuff. It's so important. I have like 100 images and I still don't have enough images. I'm gonna hit slow mode in case we're too cold. Yeah, 19.1. Getting there. Oof. Okay. 19.1 was 5.8. Let's take this reboot opportunity to go one strap higher on the memory. I'm gonna note down the scores I couldn't get. So that was 5.8, 40x, 8x cache, 2800, 9, 12, 12. Okay. I think even minus 40 should do it on the RAM. And it was 1.65 V-core. We still have Encore to mash, so yeah, it sometimes just doesn't apply a multi, does it? Or doesn't. Okay. Don't know what that was all about. Let's boot a higher multi. Let's boot. Oh, it's fucking cache again. Whatever, let's boot 52. .65. Check in CPU-Z. If it's really applied, it's applied. Go to 55, 56, 57. Yeah, we were at 5.8 as well already, weren't we? Let's get better temps. Okay, that hit cold bug. All right, I don't want to go over 110, minus 110. .105, starting the bench at 105, then pouring down a bit is fine. Might have to torch at the end of this. It's under 110. Please warm up. Might just be alright, but not, yeah. Could give the sticks a bit more as well. And I'm going to go to 1.7 vCore. Macrium. Number one is Macrium. I think my LLC and current protection, all that stuff may not be right. Where is the LLC on this goddamn thing anyway? Let's disable SVID, that's a good start. Let's run a bit warmer. Don't want to use slow mode again. Last time that killed a score for me. I need to wiggle the mouse after the end of the run to keep a bit of load on the CPU. $19.25. All right, need to pour a bit. Probably needs just a little bit more V-core to do 5.9. About 175 megahertz more effective. So they do 2825 ambient and 3000 LN2. So we were at 1.7. Let's go 1.725. And I don't care what anybody says, but they're just Samsung to me. Rev D. It's like calling a Porsche 911 a Porsche 911. It's not. It's just a Porsche. You know, every other Porsche is completely irrelevant. Okay, let's get the Encore up a little bit. Start at. Don't tell Nox that. Well, he isn't on the stream, is he? He's not here to defend himself. Need to get the sticks a little bit colder. Yeah, let's go back to 5.8. Where is our cache? It starts at 1.4. Let's go 1.5 cache. And next screenshot, I'm going to put Turbo V in as well. Starting to sort of forget what I'm even doing. I like to remind myself in screenshots. All right, we got like 10 points out of that, but 19,258 versus 19,267. All right, maybe it's also rerun happy. Who knows? But let's get a screenshot and let's get actually a results file as well. Come on, apply. Didn't like that. Hi, Die. Good night, Dallas P. Thanks for joining. Time to make a little bit of a profile here, I think. 1.7, 58 multi. 52 on the cache. Save it. And let's go 1.8. Actually 1.75 first. I don't want to get too cold. Come on, let's run. What did we fail at last time? I think it was Dijkstra, wasn't it? Sobel. Time for some more LN, I think. Let's load up our profile. .8 input. Yeah, let's go. Let's go 2 input. And let's go 1.7 again. Where is our input? Oh yeah, here we go. Let's go 1.8 vCore. So let's have a look at our last run again. We were at 1.7. Okay, let's go back to 1.7 actually. And go cache one step higher. Even though this guy in the first place is only 5.2. Anyway, we'll see. 5.2, worse RAM, but better core. C-stepping. I wonder if there's different steppings. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, hang on, Jykstra. Okay. Maybe Gamer just has a better chip than me. I can always go via BCLK, like half BCLK steps. RAM for printers, nice. Oh, that's a really late fail. Let's give the RAM another 100 millivolts. And then maybe I'll just move on to Cinebench. 100 millivolts more. Maybe even bake in the half BCLK step. Give them a little bit more cold as well. So that was about minus 112 or so. theory, I should be able to run around there. Just like minus 110, 11. Come on, monitor. Something's not going right. Are you a hacksaw? Yes, definitely. Absolutely. No question about it. What's my Cinebench run even? So I run it at, this was direct die though, 5.87. It's all I've got to say about this is I don't know. Okay, 1.7. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Let's just give it a try. Let's do normal priority and all that and just see how it goes. Not very well, apparently. I was on 2T. Much more Northbridge. I could push Northbridge voltage actually. No, I don't want to become famous. Banned. Let's make a better attempt at getting the sticks down to temperature. Didn't want to apply the multi. Time for more LN. Something weird about the 55 multiplier for some reason at the moment. It's okay, we can work with 54. Just trying to push the memory a little bit more on high CPU to see what happens. Why is input back to 1.85? That might be an issue. All right, core too warm, I think. Yeah, I got all the way up to minus 94, 95 there. Stick's too cold. All right, let's attempt a little bit of a Zorch. It's smoking. That's one way to clean your loose change. Didn't go up on the temp probe yet, but I was about to say it might boot. It's the only thing, isn't it? It's a little bit ouch. Coins are certainly warm enough. I don't know what these probes are up to. Just doesn't seem to have good heat transfer. $79. Is it gonna hang? Thought it cleared the CMOS though. Don't know why the OS is bitching. No, it's not cleared. Okay. Do we have a boot? Okay. Can we apply the 55 mult? Woo. Unexpected. Input still showing 1.85. I don't like that. But let us make an attempt at this. Surely this will run. Even at temperatures that aren't optimal. I don't really get it. Let's do a little bit of input voltage optimization. And make a new profile called surprise surprise Cinebench. See, 2 is set. Let's go 2.1. We're rebooting at full temps, so let's go full temps here as well. And just the baseline BCLK. So I had 2T and I had pretty good cache on the other run. What did League have again? Beating me by once in a bench. It's terrible. What did League? I think he just had PSC. Yeah. Oh no, Sammy. Let's leave Encore completely out of it. Now it keeps on changing input again, doesn't it? 2.2. Just not happy. A hang followed by a blue screen. That's a new one. Let's go 1.8. always at the same spot. It's almost, it's like it's an LLC issue, but I don't even see an LLC setting in bias, so that's kind of an issue. I don't get it. So let's see if I can flip LN2 mode. It shouldn't really matter on this platform, but maybe it does something that I'm not aware of. It's also got like slow boot issues on LN2 mode, so I don't know. I don't like it. All right, I've gone back to the 3000 setup. See if I can get the pass out. That should all be fine. Extra. can't do them more than 2.4. Okay, fair enough. Let's give it a little bit more SA. Sticks are nearing cold block point, so for God's sake. Can maybe just boot one BCLK lower and then raise in OS. Maybe the sticks got too cold again. A2 means entering bias or stuck. And 2 mode is actually not even indicated in the manual. Oh, it's on the little daughter board. Let's try that. Impact Cool Hub card. Do I even have this? That's all I have. Well, I'll have fun trying to find that on eBay. Let us reload our 3000 profile, see if it boots this time. If it doesn't, go down 1 BCLK. AE means booting. Input voltage. All right, down 1 BCLK then. Yeah, that's what I'll look into next time. Is it gonna go? Is it gonna go somewhere? Pins 1 and 2. As in kind of, where is it? That's a big QVL. It would be here. Impact Cool Hub. So pin 1 and 2, you're saying would, like, I'm assuming it would be the bottom edge. Yeah, bottom two. That's worth a try. But my system booted, so I'm going to try and do something with it. Oh, it hung again. All right, let's see if that does something. Glad it was still reachable under all that installation. I think my mount is probably degraded at this point. I don't know what's going on with the sticks necessarily, but LN2 mode enabled. Thanks for your help, Cold Wolf. So now what I'm going to do is it's always this fucking ring ratio. I should just blast ring volts because somehow these profiles keep on screwing up. Now I want to go back to 3000 memory actually. Give the dims a little bit more. Not too much though. I'm curious to see what else. So LN2 mode probably gives me over 2.4 VDIM. No. Okay, so it doesn't really give me anything. It may increase the current limit or something. I don't know. It's the sort of thing, you know, you're on LN2, you may as well try LN2 mode, even if it does jack shit. My mouse is stuck. What's going on? Okay, I think. Yeah, let's try 2.4 VDIM again. But I think the working hypothesis is that the sticks are not clocking as well as they were earlier. Yeah. So now the next thing we can try is we can see if Cinebench runs a little bit more stable. Then again, the mount may be degraded too much. I'm liking this board though. It's crazy to think about, but this board is actually acting up less on LN2 than it is on ambient. All right, so what we need to do is we just see if we can load that profile and it actually loads cleanly. See, it's gone back to 50 core. Like, okay, I'm not liking this board anymore. Excuse me. It's allergies, not COVID. Let's save it to a new profile. 71. All right, so okay, so what's the did LN2 mode disable the USB controller? Is that what's happening? I don't know when I did it, but I actually unplugged the mouse. All right, that's a bit embarrassing. So let's get down to temp. Actually, I won't have enough to get down. Let's get LN2. Apply our VCore. Even lower input voltage. I don't like how, I just don't like this misreporting of input voltage. I already had a CPZ open, but okay. Another 10 degrees. Encore and RAM are correct. Let's see if we can just finish a run. 5.6 and an easy minus 100. Surely that's not too much to ask. I see more squares than I've seen all day. Spoke too soon. Yeah. I'm beginning to think I'm going to have to call it. Let's try like 5.5 at 1.6 VCore or something. Not 16 volts, that would be a bit too much. Maybe this is secretly a low voltage chip. .872 is actually good for 5.5. Do I pre-select chips? Yes, it's also called binning. I bin my chips. Well, maybe I can go into that in a second. I didn't pre-select or bin. For God's sake. Okay. I didn't bin this chip. It was the only 4690K I had, and it's a really good one. So it's second in the... It's the highest Cinebench. This was on a different board with a different setup and everything. The highest Cinebench 15 pass ever on a 4690K. Just not the highest score. But yeah, in general, I do bin chips. Liquid nitrogen is a little bit too expensive otherwise. Running a little colder. This seems to be good, but then what do I do at the end of the run? Do I flip? We've got struck threads anyway. Yeah, it's too cold now. I don't know. I'm not completely screwed in this session. That's what keeps me going, but at the same time I'm also not getting anywhere, so it's sort of, I'm in a weird limbo where I'm getting, I mean, I'm getting results in a sense, but I'm also not getting them. See, now I'm at minus 120. Which is not really a temperature I've been at all session long. I just sort of assumed it was too low. Maybe LN2 is mode is helping with coal bug. I pay about $1 a liter in bulk, in relative bulk. I just sort of wonder what happens late in the run to, you know, is there actually more load late in the run in Cinebench? Okay, let's see how low I can go. It's making me curious. $119, $120, $121, $122, $123, $24, $25, $26, $8, $9, $130. It's always that right part of the frame as well. It's a funny platform. See, now we have a reboot at minus 136. I just don't get it. Okay, let's go 1.6 V core again and 5.6. Maybe this is the answer. Minus 133. No pour. Just let it slowly come up. $8.75. Doesn't really seem to like temperature changes mid-run. Was that a really slow start, or am I imagining things? It's not thermal throttling or something, is it? This is definitely a sigh-worthy session at this point. All right, I'm gonna call it. Here's our session. Here's our setup in all its glory. Nice bit of ice build up there. I might put some pics of the frozen board on Instagram and stuff. We got our 3000 Geekbench run, so I have to be happy. I might mess around a little bit with it off stream. Do you know why that phrase is always so hard to pronounce for me? But anyway, thanks for listening and watching. Do follow if you aren't already followed, and I have another 80 liters or so of LN2 left over, so it'll definitely be another LN2 stream in the near future. So, you know, tune in. Bye.